Well, good morning again. This is Darrell Bruggink with Strip-Till Farmer, and we're coming to you from the National Strip-Tillage Conference, the 4th annual one, just outside of Omaha at La Vista Conference Center. And I want to spend a few moments here at the AgroLiquid booth, and joining me is Dan Peterson. He's the field agronomy manager for AgroLiquid. And a couple things we want to talk about. And let's start about this. You've got a new product lineup that's coming out. I believe it's called PRIMAGRO.
PRIMAGRO.
Tell us about it.
That's right. The PRIMAGRO line was developed in response to the increasing awareness of farmers on soil health, and the realization that there's a lot of biologicals coming out, many of them unproven, untested. And we're a pretty heavily research-based company, so anything that we introduce, we like to have a lot of research behind it. And we felt that farmers would appreciate a product line where they could just fill their tank and go. You know, no mixing required. So we have a biological line now that is our line of nutrients, which are protected from soil tie-up, they're soil release. And we've added biologicals to those. So PRIMAGRO phosphorus, for example, is very similar to our standard phosphorus starter called Pro Germinator. And then we have PRIMAGRO K, and that's very similar to our Calibrate, which is a potassium and sulfur product. Again, very plant safe, protected in the soil, and now we have the biologicals with that. Then we have a product called C-Tech. C-Tech is if you have other products that you want to add biologicals to. So that is the standalone, bugs in a jug that you can mix with all of our products, whether they're the PRIMAGRO line or not. And then our nitrogen, our PRIMAGRO nitrogen, which is a 30% nitrogen, 1% sulfur with biologicals.
Gotcha.
Okay. And that works extremely well, especially in a side dress or banded, but it also works as a carrier for herbicides, for example, if you want to put it on pre-emergence.
Yeah. Well, we're dealing with strip-till this week here at the conference, so tell us a little bit about how the AgroLiquid, your product lineup, and where you see the fit with strip-till and how guys might be using your products in a strip-till type of operation.
Right. I'll give you an example. Last year we had a strip-tiller by Janesville, Wisconsin. He strip-tills in the fall, and he puts down dry fertilizer. He puts down primarily potassium, also some sulfur, and a little bit of phosphorus. In the spring, he comes back, and he had been up on a program with no nutrients in the spring. He just plants over that band. But we asked him to do some trial work for us, some field comparisons. And so we set up his planter for a liquid application in furrow. And the difference between where he used that over that dry fertilizer and where he didn't was rather dramatic. And he had a very significant yield increase in the fall as a result of that. So it works like that. It can be flexible. Our products can also work in that strip-till band because they are protected from tie-up. Those nutrients applied in the fall or spring will be available throughout the growing season for that crop.
Gotcha. Well, you guys have been a very heavily research-based company, and I can remember the days when you had only 400 acres of research. Now you guys are up to like 900.
Yeah.
And let's talk about some of that, and especially if you can recall, you're doing research on strip-till there. There's some interesting things you've been learning or finding out?
Yeah, in fact, we have significantly ramped up our research. We have over 900 acres at St. John's, Michigan for our research farm. Something close to around 2,000, maybe 1,800 actual research plots this year there. But then we have hundreds of others around the country. We do contract research around the country with independent contract researchers. We do on-farm trials, dozens and dozens and dozens of on-farm trials. One of the interesting things we have going on now is we hired a soil scientist. He's a Syrian, actually, pretty well known in soil science circles around the world, Dr. Zohair Masri. And he's doing some really innovative research for us, looking at the actual movement of phosphorus in the soil profile directly under the row where products have been put in furrow, for example. And what he's demonstrating from a soil chemistry standpoint is that our products genuinely are slow release. So he's also doing very innovative research as far as our nitrogen products. We have a very slow release nitrogen product called high energy nitrogen. And he's showing the difference in movement in soil with that. It resists leaching, it binds to soil colloids, It also is significantly slower as far as its volatilization off the surface.
Right.
So that's pretty exciting stuff going on. The PRIMAGRO line, he's also doing work with that in developing like a testing protocol for determining how much carbon dioxide gets released where we've had PRIMAGRO versus our standard products. So going forward, that's pretty interesting stuff, and it kind of sets us apart. We're, as far as I can tell, coming into the company from 2.5 years ago, with full career in agronomy behind me, this company is doing far more research than any other company I'm aware of, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty significant when you start talking about 900 acres plus offsite.
Yeah,
as
it
well,
really
so,
is. Yeah, it really is.
Well, thank you, Dan. Dan
Thank
Peterson with AgroLiquid. I'm Darrell Bruggink, and we're here again at the National Strip-Tillage Conference.